Welcome back, everybody, to the Meeple Marathon, and today we're going to be taking a look at Scythe, the digital edition for iOS. This is, I believe, a new app. If you look at the app revision history, version 1.0, it says came out, months ago, but I think that was like a beta version that you didn't have access to. I believe this just came out this Wednesday, the 16th of September. So very excited about this. I had been considering purchasing Scythe on Steam, but I tend to play games more on my iPad. It's just, it's more portable and it's easier to play, to get more games in my opinion. So I was very excited to see Scythe come out for the iOS because I've always wanted to play Scythe, but I don't own the actual game. It's the price point. It has always been kind of an inhibitor for me. If I'm going to spend that much money, I tend to put them into things like newer Kickstarters and things like that instead of spending that much money on an older game. So, needless to say, unfortunately, I am not able to compare the app to the physical game. But I am going to go through here and just show you what you would be getting if you purchased Scythe Digital Edition. So before we get into it, I did want to show you that there are these extras, one of which is this album, which is just really nice because the artwork in the game is, really incredible. It's not for everyone, but if you are a fan of the artwork, you can simply just scroll through here and take a look at everything. And the different cards and objective cards, basically everything is there. So there's the artwork. But the other thing is that there is a paint shop. When I first started playing the games, they all looked like this, which is pretty boring. I mean, the games in the game, I believe, your mechs and your workers and even your character are like a specific color. So the white was just very stark and plain, and but then I realized, oh, I can just come in here and paint it. And you can paint just the model you're playing with. If you're playing against AI bots, you can leave them unpainted. But I basically just went through and painted up everybody. So you can see here, this is what a worker used to look like. This is what a mech used to work like. And for some reason, the characters were all white. But, and you can see here that you can go through and they're all nicely painted. They don't look like, they look like digital representations of the characters. They don't look like painted models, but that's fine. I'm not going to get picky, but I just thought it was a nice touch that they allowed you to go in and paint them, and it's not like something you had to pay to unlock or anything like that. So let's just go ahead and jump into an offline game. We're going to start a new game here. You can set what type of actions you can undo. You can say just the last action or unlimited, which means, you could essentially, if you lost the game, back all the way up to the beginning, I guess, and start over. But last action seems like enough for me. I've added in the promo cards. I'm not really sure what prevent banned mat combos means, but basically this is just the default settings, so I said fine. And so here you can go in and actually select who you want to be as your faction, so you can cycle through all of them there. This blue box here to the left represents that I'm a physical player versus a bot, and you can say, well, I want, this specific type of boards because they are all different. But essentially the dice and the word random means that everything's going to be completely random. You can also, change your name. You can give the bot a name. There you go. And you can certainly add in, additional easy bots. The default setting when I first started was medium difficulty, and the easy guys kicking my butt enough as it is. So I'm not really sure how to change the difficulty level. Maybe that's it. Maybe red. Okay, so green's probably the easiest. Okay. Now, we learn something new every day. But we're essentially just going to randomize everything and get started here. And so this screen is actually, it's not really a loading screen. It's telling you about your person. So you can see here next to my name in the lower left, I am the Saxony faction. And I have the engineering board. For those of you who are very knowledgeable about Scythe, you may know what that means. But all I know is that it means that I have the engineering player board versus like the industrial board. So you can see what my starting stats are. I've got a lot of combat cards, but only 1 power, 2 popularity. I am able to control at least 3 forest territories at the end of your turn, or build at least 3 structures, have at least 7 popularity, and have 0 mechs. These are the 2 kind of unique goals that I'm going after that in a game would normally be hidden to me. And you can see farms and tundras. This is kind of a single additional VP scoring mechanic for how you build your structures. And this is known to both players, so both me and the AI bot are going to be trying to build on farms and tundras. The more we build our buildings on that, the higher more VP we get at the end of the game. So let's go ahead and start. Nice little cinematic intro here, just introducing everybody, which is kind of cool. So this is kind of the normal view. You can see pinching closer, and I can pinch it way out wide, I think. Yeah, there you go. Almost see everybody, but pretty much I think it jumps back to this default view between turns. Now, one thing before we get started anymore, I do want to point out, which is a nice little touch, but I feel like it's lacking. You can change the theme of the map. So if you go up here to settings and you go to options, you see map colors. It's on default now, and you can say, oh, let's make it doom and gloom. Resume. Well, I'm sure right now you're saying, well, nothing changed. I don't notice any difference. Well, for some reason, the only thing that changed is this zoomed out view of the map. Your zoomed in view is always going to be the default view. But you can see here that we can say make it moonlight. We can make it black and white. Or we can make it, what was that, vintage 1920. Sepia tone. So I'm not really sure, maybe in later iterations they will have made it so that let's go doom and gloom. So that the whole map appears this way, and because you can see as soon as I zoom in, it gets its color back. And then when I zoom in even further, where you can see how I zoom out and I start to lose the, oh, there you go. There's the natural color. Okay. Another thing you can add, I've got turned off because it makes it really hard to hear me, but there is some music. I'm going to turn that off though, and there's a lot of stuff in here that you can turn off and on. And the music is not all that. That was kind of doomy and gloomy. Maybe it has to do with the theme I chose, but I found that there are different tracks that play. And so the music isn't bad, but when you're trying to talk over your gameplay, it definitely makes it hard to hear. So for the moment, I'm not going to go give you an overview of the how to play the game, because A, I'm just now learning myself, but B, I really just want to give you guys an idea of how the game functions and plays compared to the normal game. You can see here your player board at the bottom is kind of bland. And I guess I'm okay with that. I guess they had to sacrifice something, and to fit artwork in there in the back, they would have had to make it bigger. Your map would have ended up being smaller, but essentially, let's see, I don't even know what I would want to do here. maybe drum up some oil. So say, for example, you want to move. There's always a confirm button. I don't know if you can turn that off or not, but you know, you would say, let's actually produce first. So here it tells you produce, and then you get this kind of view. If you have multiple workers scattered all over the place, then you would select the 2 locations. But here you'll just touch on there. How many do you want? I guess you could request less than what you wanted, but you do have to go through that, which seems a little silly. But all right, so now you have your resources. Now just hit end turn. It shows you briefly what the other player is doing, and you can speed that up if you want, and then it comes back to you. So say, for example, I want to move, and I want to move this guy here. Now, in order to move him with the resources, I have to press these double arrows up and double arrows down. This is not super intuitive because, you know, to me, picking up the item, I would want to press up. But I was just pressing it and nothing happened. Pressing down is what picks up the item. And now you can see I have 1 stone in this resource box underneath. If, for some reason, say I hit up to put it back down, and then attempt to move, it's going to give me this warning here. Do I want to move and leave my resources unattended? And me personally, learning the game, I have used this a lot, where I've been like, oh crap, let me grab my resource, and then I'll move, and then it plop, pops out of them. And then you can see at the lower left, it's checked off 1 of your movements you can make. So let's move my character. So it is nice that it gives you, it highlights the spaces that you can move into. That way you're not going to break any rules or anything like that. So let's just watch what they do for a minute, and then it's back to us. So while you have this interface, obviously your player board's at the bottom, and for those of you familiar with Scythe, you'll understand the top action versus the bottom action, and what all actions you can take. But for example, if you wanted to know what your end or your private goal cards are, you can hit the bird, and there you can see them. If at any point in time you have, say, met one of the criteria, you'll see down here in the lower left where that bird icon is, a little gold banner showing you which one of them you completed. The name of the objective card, let's say Woodland Advantage, would be in this gold banner down here below, kind of giving you the heads up, hey, do you want to go ahead and claim this and gain your fee B? You can go up here in the upper left and check out the combat cards you have, and pushing up here at the top along this banner, this really tiny banner, I wish this was a little bit bigger, where it shows you your gold, your popularity, your power, does nothing. I feel like it should. I feel like pressing on that should show me something. But in fact, in the very upper left here, these 3 bars, you can see it gives you a lot of options. So I can press on my factions symbol, and it's going to give me my mech, what my mech options are, and it's going to give me dominate. It's going to tell me what my specific faction's special power is. I can move over to the bird and see my objectives. I can look at my structures and what they do for me, and I can also see the bonuses. I can get up to 6 VP if I put all 4 of my buildings into farms or tundras. You can see here at a glance who's winning. I don't like to look at that though. And here you can see general stats each round. This is more a view of what you would normally see. And this is what I tend to look at, because I do know that, these 2 tracks are on the physical game board and are what you would normally see. So this is how you would know how much power the other player has or how much popularity they have. So, and then the last thing here is simply the stars. So you can see where they have earned their stars towards gaining 6 towards ending the game. You can see at the top there is 6 stars up there that will fill in for you, but also down here in the Lower right, you will see that there is my faction symbol that's slightly bigger than the AI opponent's faction symbol right above the round 3 and then the end turn button. As you gain stars and as the AI gains stars, you'll see stars start to populate along the top of your little circle icon there. And so at a quick glance, you can see the AI has 3 stars or 4 stars or 5 stars, and they're 1 away from winning. So that is pretty much it. Otherwise, I believe I have shown you everything. Pressing the timer button just kind of gives you an overview of the actions that have been taken. And let's see if we can't just show you what like a upgrade might look like. So let's go ahead and say, well, upgrade now here is where you're paying for your resources. So this is has nothing to do with placing down anything. This is, I have to actually physically touch on the oil barrel there 3 times. Now, since I'm doing the upgrade one, let's see, what do I want to do? I don't have a whole lot of power here, so maybe we'll do that one. So I upgraded my power, and we'll reduce mech cost. And my turn, so you can see now that I will gain 3 power. There's 3 symbols there instead of 2, and there's only 3 stone in front of the mech instead of 4. Let's see here. I guess I can try and show you what a mech might look like. Let's take our stuff with us. And boop, bitty boop. End our turn. Speed up. Boop. I need to produce. Confirm. And turn. Let's speed him up. And now I can produce a mech. So let's just gain a popularity here. And then we will pay for our mech. So we have to go over here. We have to pay 1, 2, 3. And now we have to decide, do I want the Riverwalk mech, the Underpass mech, the Disarm mech, or the Speed mech? I think we're going to have to go Riverwalk mech so we can start moving around. At this point, there is only one possible spot we can place our mech because all of our people are in one spot. So you simply press on that and boop, there it is. They don't move or anything. They are stationary just like a normal miniature would be. But there you have it. I don't really know how to slow the AI down now that I sped them up. So yeah, this is pretty much, I hope it just gives you a general idea of the look and feel of the app. I will post another video once I become better acquainted with the rules of the game on, just simply how to play the game via the app. But there's plenty of videos like that out there if you are curious as to how to play the game. There is also a tutorial included in the game. Let's see here if we can exit out here and just take a quick look at the tutorial. The tutorial is basically set up into these modules. And I feel like it definitely could have been better. After going through all of these tutorials here, I still had to reference the quick reference sheet that comes with the board game, and I watched Watch It Played's video on how to play Scythe. But at least they don't just throw you to the wolves. I assume that play online is where you could play another person who has the same copy of the game with the Asmodee account, but I have not attempted that, so I'm not going to give my opinion on playing online. And the last thing here, I think this is just a achievements thing, and this is through the app through iOS. So yeah, that's pretty much it. One last thing I'm going to show you is I'm actually going to hop off my iPad here, and I'm going to just show you in comparison what the game looks and feels like when it's on your phone. Because as I downloaded this on my iPad, it popped up instantly on my phone, and I thought there's no way that this can fit on my phone. It's just too much information needed. But for some of you, you may not mind the size, and it would be totally worth it to be able to play it on your phone. So I want you to soak this image in right now, and when you're watching this later, you'll be able to rewind, but kind of take in how this feels and whether you feel like this is enough space for everything and all the information is displayed appropriately. And now I'm going to show you what it looks like on the phone. Okay, so here you can see what it looks like, and this is an iPhone 10. So, not a super huge phone. It's not the iPhone 10X large or whatever. It all fits here on the screen, but everything's definitely shrunk down. I feel like you can either see less of the map or to get close enough in. This is kind of like the default view they gave me, and that's really too small for me to be efficiently selecting workers and characters there. But for the most part, other than everything being small, it works. So, if you've got small fingers, maybe you don't mind the petite size of the game here. All the same options are available, so you can change the map, you can turn on and off music, things like that. Offline and online play is available. There's a tutorial. So yeah, this is what it looks like on your phone. Again, it's pretty easy to zoom around the map and then just do a little pinch spread action to zoom in on your character. This appears to be about as close as you can get right here. So yeah, that's that. There's your cards. Like, I feel like this window could have been bigger, but this is probably to scale the same size it is on the iPad compared to everything else. Like, these cards seem sufficiently big enough. So yeah, there you have it. For those of you who are interested in giving this app a purchase, I hope this video was helpful. If you did enjoy this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to the channel, because that helps me more than anything. So once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.